This happened more than 20 years ago. My brother always helped himself to my things. Money, clothes, whatever he wanted. I had a beautiful pair of Timberland shoes that I kept at our family cottage. One day they went missing. When I asked him, he swore he knew nothing about them. A few months later, I'm at my mother's house for Christmas dinner. My brother walks in, wearing my shoes. "Oh, are these yours?" he asks innocently. "I'll drop them off next week." "You know damn well they're mine. You would never spend money on quality shoes." My mother jumps in. "Oh, he just took them by mistake. It was an accident. He'll bring them back." A few hours later, I feign feeling sick and whisper to my wife, "Let's go." She nods. As we head out the door, I grab my shoes. We get in the car and drive home. Soon the phone rings. It's my mom, furious. "He had to go home in my pink slippers." I start laughing. "It's not funny," she yells. By the way, this was in Winnipeg, on a nasty winter night. He had to scrape the ice off his windshield, wearing my slippers. I think it's hilarious. I laugh even harder. "Please tell me you got a picture." She hangs up on me. A couple of days later, we have another family gathering. There's a fair bit of tension, except for me. I break the ice at the table by asking out loud, "So, did you remember to bring Mom's pink slippers?" My ex got revenge on me in the worst way possible, and now I have no way to clear my name. Last year, I cheated on my girlfriend of 8 years, Annie, with a colleague named Jess. It cost me my job, most of my friendships, and the love of a good woman. I deserved it, and I never expected sympathy. Annie cut me out of her life instantly. She dropped my things at my parents' house and never spoke to me again. Jess and I moved forward. She became pregnant, and just weeks ago our son was born. I was determined to be a good father. But a month before, I ran into Annie. She said she found an old keychain from my grandfather and that I could collect it on Saturday or she'd throw it away. That Saturday, my son was less than a day old. On the way to the hospital, I stopped by. Annie invited me in to talk. We spoke for under an hour. I apologized, she wished me well, and we hugged goodbye. I thought it was closure. But when I got back to the hospital, Jess had revoked my access. Security removed me, and no one explained why. Later, Jess sent me a video from Annie. Doorbell footage of me entering and leaving the house. The hug looked like a kiss. With it, Annie wrote, "Did he even shower between being with me and holding his son? Congratulations on being stuck with him for the next 18 years. Now Jess refuses to see me. My family doesn't believe me. Even my friends assume the worst. I met my son once, minutes after he was born. And now I don't know when, or if, I'll see him again. Everything is ruined. About 10 years ago, I lived next door to a real piece of work. For months, we heard yelling and screaming from that house. Not a townhouse, a standalone house. So it was loud. I called the police more than once, because it was clear some kind of violence was going on. One day I spoke with his wife. She had bruises on her arm, and a cut on her leg, from being shoved through a glass table. Sometimes she stayed at our place to get away. I patched her up. Back then I was in the military, trained as an EMT, with a trauma bag at home. I also used to open carry a pistol, which was legal. That will matter in a moment. She refused to call the police, saying her husband was a mortician in town, with many cop friends, and that it would never go her way. One day, he got angry we were helping her, so he made a false report, claiming I threatened him with my gun. Soon after, a sheriff's deputy came with a restraining order that would have forced me to move. But here is the thing. I had sold that gun a month before, to a cop. My girlfriend at the time knew a social worker who was dating that officer. I called him, explained, and he stepped in. He showed the neighbor a photo of my old gun with a ruler, like evidence. He asked if that was the gun. The neighbor said yes. He asked if it happened on that date. Again, yes. So the neighbor was charged for filing a false report, and the order disappeared. Later the neighbor muttered threats. But I had just been discharged from the Air Force, and was preparing to move back east. Before I left, I cut bamboo stalks into 4-inch pieces, took a mallet, and drove them all over his backyard. That same week, I helped his wife reach a women's shelter. The bamboo completely took over his yard. He will never get rid of it. Some people plant flowers as a goodbye gift. I left him bamboo. Piece of work. Hey guys, I am in a bit of a weird spot right now, and I could really use some outside opinions. You see, my wife's birthday just passed. I am really bad at picking out gifts for people, I just never know what to get them. Which is ironic, because I actually work as a mall Santa part-time during the holidays. But this year, I really wanted to get my wife something nice. So I texted one of her friends to get some ideas. She let me know that my wife had been wanting to start a collection of statues of cryptids, things like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and so on. So I went out and bought her a small jade Mothman statue. When I gave it to my wife, she was quite pleased at first. But then she started asking how I knew that she wanted that. I told her that her friend had told me. My wife instantly got mad. She said it was creepy and weird to text her friend behind her back, and that it honestly felt like I had cheated on her. I explained calmly that the texts were innocent, and that she could read them if she liked. She dropped the issue for the day, and I thought we were past it. That was until yesterday, when she came home looking very smug. She pulled out her phone, and showed me multiple adult pictures she had taken and sent to my friend. She claimed that this made us even. But I feel like this was completely uncalled for. I told her that I need time to process everything, and I have been spending the last few days away from home. Now my family and friends have been blowing up my phone, telling me that I am overreacting, and that I should just call it even and move on. But the truth is, I cannot. This is not about being even. This is about betrayal, boundaries, and respect. And she crossed a line that I do not think we can come back from. Right now, I am facing the reality that my marriage may be over. And as painful as that is, I think the damage that has been done is too deep to ignore. This happened many years ago, back when I was working as a retail salesperson in a jewelry store at the mall. It's a true story, and still one of my favorite memories. Our assistant manager, let's call him Jerry, sold a fancy crystal decanter set to a couple. They were buying it as a wedding gift. I was close enough to hear most of the transaction, and the husband was a complete jerk the entire time. Condescending, demanding, demeaning, you name it. Jerry, though, was the picture of professionalism. Calm, cheerful, helpful, no matter how badly he was treated. When the sale was finally done, he asked if they'd like complimentary gift wrapping. They said yes. So Jerry took the box to the back room and did an amazing wrapping job. luxury ribbon, silver textured paper, the works. The couple left, and Jerry smiled and waved goodbye. When they were gone, he was still smiling. I asked him, "Why are you so cheerful after all that?" Jerry just grinned, held up the price tag gun, and said, "Oh, it's fine." The set had cost about $150. This was back in 1978, so maybe $500 today. While he was wrapping it, Jerry had quietly removed the original price tag, and then put new ones on each piece. Something like $17.77 on the decanter. $3.77 on each glass. Then he wrapped them all up beautifully. And he said, "The beauty of it is, they'll never know." He gave this perfectly satisfied laugh.